Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you're a returning watcher. I'm George, I'm the Good Lad Gamer, and today we're pulling Ancient Shards. It's a ×2 on Ancients, Voids, and Sacreds, but I don't have enough Sacreds or Void Shards particularly that I think I'll be able to get anything good with, so I'm just going to be doing Ancient Shards on both of my accounts. I've got 127 on this one, and I've got about 160 on the Kale account, and this is all in aid of the Fabian fusion, because we need to complete the champion chase tournament needed for Fabian. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all of my ancients, and then if I don't have enough points, I've got a couple of old fusion fragment summons in the wings, waiting in the wings, just in case I don't get enough points. But I am going to be pulling all of my ancients, and hopefully we can get the 3,500 points that we need. And before I get into pulling shards, guys, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing makes a huge amount of difference to me, and it really proves to me that people actually want to watch my videos, and I'll kind of carry on making them, and hopefully it'll get good reception. So if you enjoy the videos and want to see more of it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into pulling these shards. So we're on the Galek account, and I've just realised that was a very quick intro. We are doing the champion chase. We are doing nearly 300 ancient shards, and that's exciting. Be excited with me. I am excited. I am doing this quite late at night. I just want to be able to get the video recorded so it can be with you tomorrow in the morning. I don't think there's much else to say. I think it's just pulling shards. It just is, and it's great, and it's fun. So we're gonna go first temple. Come on, game. Let's go. Not all rares. A Lady Eresh, and no one else of note in that one. I am going to have to be making room in this video, so you'll have to bear with me, but it's par for the course at this point. When pulling Ancients, you have to make room, especially if you have a big roster, which I do. Sepulchre Sentinel there. No one else of interest in that one. Come on, legendaries. I want to see... Who do I want to see? Like a Duchess, that would be pretty sick. Duchess on either of my accounts. Knight Errant in that one, not a good champion. Who else do I want to see? I can't even think of anyone right now. At least one legendary. Maybe I should have thought about this before hitting record. We got a Teregi the Frog, another Sepulchre, and a Farrakin the Fat. All three of those absolutely great champions. I do need to make a little bit of room, so I'll be back in as quick as a flash. Right, and we're going back in. We've got 87. We've got a little bit of room there. Come on, game. Back-to-back legendaries. I want to see at least one legendary. Okay. Deliana. Am I saying that right? Deliana? Yeah. Let me go through Deliana's kit, guys, and I'll go through it with you in just a second. Right, a cool-looking champion. I don't know much about her. I wouldn't say a very meta champion, because I feel like I would have seen her a lot more. Is she a free champion, potentially? A free champion for, like, newcomers to the game, I think. Maybe I've seen her a lot in PvP, but I can't see an obvious good use for her. But anyway, on her A1, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. On her A2, attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased resistance debuff for 2 turns. If the target is under block buffs debuff, also applies debuff spread effect, taking any decreased resistance debuff on the target and placing it on all enemies. On her A3, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs debuff on each enemy for 2 turns, heals all allies by 5% of their max HP for each block buffs debuff placed by this skill, fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each block buffs debuff attempted, blocked, or resisted by the enemy team. So it heals them if it works, it fills her turn meter if it doesn't. On her passive, increases this champion's accuracy by 2 for every 1000 HP this champion has, places a 35% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns each time this champion drops below 50% HP, and she also has all ally HP in all battles by 33%. So that is a flat 33% on all of the allies in a team. So that's, you know, that's an underrated aura. I think people normally just look for sort of speed or defense. I would say that is an underrated aura. Anyway, Deliana, I don't know too much about her. So I'm going to move on. We're going to move on. I don't know anything about Deliana. Well, I know everything about Deliana because I've just read out her kit, but I don't think she's very good. And I feel like I would see it. That's our third Sepulchre Sentinel for this pull. Burengiri, Eshma, and a Krok Brawler. Eshma? Not very good at the names. I'm not very good at the names, but it's okay. It's all right. We're going to do a quick one. Oh, we got the second legendary. Nama the Returned. I do have a Nama on both of my accounts. A great looking champion. Let me just make myself familiar with her kit and I'll be right back. Oh yeah, this is an easy one. So Honor A1 attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of increasing the duration of 3 random debuffs on the target by 1. So I think when I pulled her previously in one of my old videos, I said this would be great if it wasn't random debuffs. If it was just duration of debuffs, that would be great. But because it's random, makes things a bit wacky. Honor A2 attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 3 turns. Also heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. The heal increases by 2% for each poison debuff on the target. And then Honor A3, believe it or not, it's got poison in it. Attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing 3 5% poison debuffs and a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 3 turns. She also has increase all ally accuracy in dungeons by 80. Not very good champion. She's a good champion. She's just not that good. I need to make a little bit of room and I'll be right back. Right, we are back in. I didn't really give Nama the time of day, but she's not very good. Right, 57 ancients to go. Can we get another legendary? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sweet if we get another legendary. I also underplayed when I got the legendary because I did a quick pull when I didn't even think that I would get a legendary. Pitless won the only epic in that one. Not interested though. Not interested one bit. The third legendary is all I'm looking for. We had a bit of buffer in then. The game was running a bit slow. Siege Hulk, Hycatoon, and Soul Drinker. Not interested in those guys. Hycatoon. Free champion, a speed buffer. Good for early game if you haven't got a speed buffer. Durajin, not interested in Durajin one bit. I need to make a little bit more room, guys, and that should be it for this account. So, 27 Ancients remaining and a third legendary on the way. I can feel it. I can feel it, game. The third legendary. Royal Guard. Mausoleum Mage. Karam. Mausoleum Mage, great champion. Royal Guard, great champion. Karam, not so great champion. The last 10 pull. Ultimate Galek. Tyrell. Was really good. Not so much anymore. No legendary there. No legendary. Shall I do the 7? Let's do the 7. See how it goes. First one is a rare. Marauder. Was it Marauder? I barely even read his name then. Judicator. Flinger. All rares. Come on, game. Chopper. Should be spelled with an A. Chopper. Soulbond Boya. Boa? Words. Not very good with the words. Magus. Magus. Maybe I shouldn't just read out every single name. Maybe that's... I feel like people are going to laugh at me. Margrave Greenhawk. That's the last ancient. And what I'll do, guys, I'll go and collect my points. I've already collected some. I did it off camera. No, I didn't do it off camera. But as you can see, all of these juicy points for pulling ancients. It's like a double whammy, you know. I get books. I've got the rare for the fusion. I've got gems, and I've got 2 legendaries out of it. So that's pretty nice, pretty cool. What I'll do, guys, I'll go and log on to the Kale account, and we'll do exactly the same over there. So we're on the Kale account. We've got 169 ancients, and I'm gonna pull them all. So let's go. First temple. At least 2 legendaries, please, game. I would love to have 4 legendaries in one video. That would be really nice. But I know what this game is like. It'll give me 0 compared to what I got on the Galek account. Sepultura, Sashi, Jizzo. Whew. Let's go. Let's go, legendaries. An all rare. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much, game. Thank you, Raid, for that. Thank you. It's just a sacrifice. It's the sacrifice before the legendaries come in. That's what it is. Baroth, Blood-Soaked. We got a Blood Feather and a Hell Gazer. And I need to make room already, guys. This is going to be a bit painful for me, but bear with me because hopefully I can get some good stuff out of it. I didn't just make room, guys. I also bought some. We've now got 300 hero slots available. And to be honest, it barely made a difference to my silver, so... Or did I use gems by accident? Either way, I've got plenty of both, so I'm quite happy with that. It means I can make a more seamless video, so I'm happy with that. Let's go. Let's go. We did the sacrifice, we did the all-rare sacrifice, and we got the legendary because of it. Very nice. A Loki. A Loki. That is interesting. That is interesting. Do I have Loki? I think we all have Loki, don't we? I can't remember. Do we all have Loki, or did you have to earn him in some way? Did we get Thor? I can't remember. Let me go for his kit. It's a lengthy one. Let me go for his kit, make sure I'm happy with it, and then I will talk through Loki's kit with you guys. Okay, Loki the Deceiver. On his A1, attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. If this champion is under a Veil or Perfect Veil buff, the chance increases to 50%. 30 to 50. On his A2, select a target. If the target is an enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a block active skills debuff and a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. If the champion using this skill was under Veil or Perfect Veil buff, also applies a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. If the target is an ally, or if the champion is an ally, or this champion, heals them by 50% of this champion's max HP and places a Perfect Veil buff on them for 2 turns. If this champion is under Perfect Veil or Veil, also applies buff spread, taking a random buff from the target and placing it on all allies. Sorry if that was atrocious, guys, I apologise. On his A3, has a 75% chance of stealing all buffs from a target enemy and 100% of their turn meter. These effects cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. If this target's turn meter was not stolen, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. Also places a 50% increase attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then on his A3, his passive... Not his A3, his passive... This is a wordy one. So passive effect. Places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. Also places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever his HP drops below 50. There, HP drops below 50%. Has a 15% chance to evade an enemy skill and all of its accompanying effects. If this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil, the chance to evade increases to 30%. Oh, if he's under Veil or Perfect Veil, it increases to 30%. And then the active effect, if this champion's HP is below 50%, when targeted by an enemy skill, has a 100% chance to evade that skill and all of its accompanying effects. This guarantee evade then goes on cooldown. And then he has increase all ally accuracy in all battles by 60. He's a great champion. I find in PvP, if you can whittle the rest of the team down and he's the last one standing, he can't do anything. So even if he evades and even if he's under Veils and stuff like that, he still ends up getting killed. So I'm not sure about Loki, but welcome to the team. Have a great time with us. Have a great time with me. with the Kale account, I guess. Let's look for the next legendary. So we got Umatogi, Nogoroyo. I reckon I'm doing that one alright, actually. Nah, to all you people that say I can't pronounce things. No one else of note in the last one. Not very interesting. We've got a Cornelia and another legendary. Karuga Deathbell. I already have Karuga on one of my accounts. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the Galek account, so this is not a dupe on this account. Don't know anything about him. Never used him. I think he's a good tank. Maybe. Bear with me, guys. Let me go for his kit, and I'll be right back. Yeah, of course he's a tank. Look at the guy. Look at him. He's an absolute unit. On his A1, attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. On his A2, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of filling the turn meters of all allies by 30%, also has a 75% chance of removing all debuffs from all allies. On his A3, places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, also places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then on his passive increases this champion's resistance by 20 and defense by 10% for each ally protection buff on allies. Also increases ally resistance by 15 and defense by 5% for each ally protection buff on all allies. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Counter attacks whenever an ally under ally protection buff is attacked can occur once per enemy turn. And he also increases all ally HP in all battles by 30%. So he's a support. He's a supporty boy. I don't know if he does damage. Maybe I don't have him on my other account. I don't know. Someone in the comments, let me know if he's good. Maybe he's a good HP damage dealer. I don't know. Moving on though. Maybe we get the 5th legendary. The 3 on this account. Surely I got to get it. I got to. We got another all rares, so that's the sacrifice right there. So a legendary on the next go. Ashma. No one else of interest. Moving on. While I try and pronounce the words. I'm sure this game slips me up. You know, there's no legendaries called Tiger Soul or no Sanguinia. Why isn't it just Apothecary? Hound Spawn? Why have they got to be really difficult to say? That's what I want to know. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I've got to make a little bit of room and I'll be right back. And we are back. 79 to go. 1 legendary. Waiting in the wings. I can feel it. 1 legendary. And there it is. I don't know what's going on today. And that is not a dupe. I don't have Gurptuk on either of my accounts. And he is used for some high damage stuff. So maybe he'll be joined to one of my accounts. Let me get familiar with his kit, guys, and I'll be right back. So the interesting thing about Gurptuk is he places poisons on himself and allies, but there is a reason for it. Let me go through his kit and I'll explain it. Attacks one enemy 2 times, places a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn on all allies under poison debuff. On his A2, removes all debuffs except poison debuffs from an ally, then heals them by 30% of their max HP and places a shield buff on the target equal to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns. On his A3, places 3 2.5 poison debuffs on all allies for 3 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted or blocked because they're on allies. Also has an 80% chance of placing a block buffs debuff on all allies for 2 turns. And then on his passive, which is what makes it interesting, and what makes him interesting for damage dealers, is allies under poison debuff inflict 7.5 more damage for each poison debuff on them. Stacking up to a maximum of 30%, this damage increase applies to all of their skills. Also increases each ally's resistance by 15 for each poison debuff on them. And then he also has all ally resistance in all battles by 50. So he's an interesting champion. I don't know if he's got a place in any of my teams because I don't think they're they're not quick enough. A lot of my dungeon fights are sort of a bit more long-winded, whereas you need champions that can just take out waves in one go, and I don't really have that at this point. So if I'm doing dragon or something like that, fighting the boss is actually quite easy, but it's the waves that take time, and I need to chip away at them with poisons and stuff like that. Whereas you need a big damage dealer to be able to take out those, so you can apply these poisons to them and then get someone right to the end so they can sort of solo the dragon, for example, anyway. So I will build him out, but I don't know if he necessarily has a place in my team. But that's Gurped Up Mossbeard. Welcome to the team, mate, and you're looking pretty handsome. Pretty good looking guy. Anyway, moving on. Whew, 5 legendaries. I'll take that. I'll take 5 legendaries for a random Friday night. I'll take 6 legendaries for a random Friday night, just pulling ancients. That's pretty nice. Basilius Roanus. Aurelius. Basilius Roanus. I think this guy's a bit of a one-track pony. But give me a second. Let me read for his kit and I'll be right back. Okay. Basilius. Interesting name. Boring looking champion. I'm not into that sort of sleek elf aesthetic. I prefer the dark elves over the high elves personally. It's just not my vibe. Not my vibe. I'm more of like an orc guy. You know, I'm a big orc guy. Sort of dirty and muscular. That's what I'm into. Not into it, but that's who my characters are. On his A1, attacks one enemy, has an 80% chance of stealing one random buff from the target. Has an 80% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 1 turn if the target has no effective buffs. On his A2, attacks one enemy 3 times, will ignore increased defense buffs, shield buffs, and block damage buffs, as well as 50% of the target's defense. That's what he's known for, that's what he's good at. And then on his A3, when ascended, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn, increases the target's turn meter by 50% if the stun debuff is not placed. So his A2 is what he's known for. He can do what Georgia does, but not with Stone Skin. He can basically bypass increased defense and block damage, and that's pretty good. But he's a bit outclassed in the game these days. I don't think he's really going to be doing much. But moving on from Basilius, because he's not going to be in one of my teams, unfortunately. I'd love to put every legendary in one of my teams, but he has no place in my teams, I'm afraid. But that is the 6th legendary of this video, that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited. I might not come across very excited. It's quite late at night. It's way past my bedtime, but I am very excited. No one on that one. Only rares, which can only mean another legendary, right? At this rate, if I keep talking about it, it seems to be working every time I talk about it. We get another legendary. So, fingers crossed. We got an Ender Moon Beam and a Romero. They're not legendaries. Game, come on. What are you doing? Lich. Berengiri again. Flesh Terror. And I think I need to make the tiniest bit of room. I need to make 30 rooms. And I'll be right back, guys. Okay, the home stretch. 29 ancients to go. 1 more legendary? 7 in one video? Is that too many to ask for? Is it too many to ask for? Scion. No one else in that one. Moving straight on. I'm not even giving them time. I want to see if I get another legendary, because that'll be pretty crazy if I do. Rearguard Sergeant, Soul Drinker, and 9 individuals. Let's go. Come on, game. You can do it. You want to give me another one. Flinger, moving on. No rares in this roster. Only Cold Hearts if I'm going to have rares. Gator. Gator, away from me. Hellfang. Come on, game. The 7th legendary on the last one. That'd be pretty cool. Margrave again. Was he the last one on my last account? On the Galek account? I think he was, you know. Get out of here. Tiger Soul. Fleshmonger. Come on, game. Come on, game. And the last one, guys. Come on. It's a rare. Of course it's a rare. Right, let's go and pull all of my rewards, and well, that'll be it from me this week. That's quite a lot. I pulled nearly 300 ancients, so it's quite a lot to sort of have hanging about. Gonna have to do some work, feed some champions, make some food, etc, etc. But as you can see, guys, I got all of the points needed for this guy. I'm going to lock him away, just make sure I don't feed him when I'm feeding all of those rares, and I'm just going to keep going for this guy, and I can't remember his name. Fabian. I've already said it in this video and I forgot it all of a sudden. I was too excited about all the legendaries. So that is it for today's video, guys. 6 legendaries in one video. I'll take that as a bit of a win. Even for how many ancients I pulled, I would say that's more than I normally get. That is well against the odds, so I am pretty happy with that. As always, if you got any good champions or any champions that are going to change your account, please do let me know in the comments. Maybe I can give you a couple of tips and tricks on where to use them and where they might be useful. And as I said in the video, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, like the video and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe makes a huge amount of difference to me, and it really proves to me that people actually want to watch my videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.